Hey, it's Troy Anderson from Hair by Troy, and I'm starting a series. And what I wanted to do is just bring a little light into the hair industry, just so everyone can kind of see and bring awareness to what we as stylists went through this year, 2020, with COVID-19. And so I hope you enjoy my videos. Thank you so much. Thanks for watching. Okay, so we have Randy Gatling here with us from Bella Hair Studio, hey,
Hey,
LLC, out of Portsmouth, Virginia. And so he's a salon owner, he's a businessman, he's a husband, he's a father, entrepreneur, all of these things. But Randy, speak to us on how you were affected 2020. Okay, so let me set it up for you. So 2020,
hmm
we're March 2020, right? Corona's coming in, and March 2020, I remember the day, it was the 28th or the 25th.
hmm
Governor shuts us down. What goes through your mind?
First, it's a little uneasiness. It was
Yeah.
like, what's happening? This is totally different.
Is this real? Because I was thinking, it's not real. This
Right.
isn't going to happen. Then we get shut down. So as a business owner, how were you affected? Because we had to stay home. We couldn't go to
Yeah.
work. How did that affect you as a business owner?
Yeah. Initially, like I say, it was a feeling of uneasiness, but then as it actually started to happen, and like days turned into weeks, into
Weeks.
months, it was like, oh, this is real, and it
Yeah.
was particularly different in my case because my wife also works in the salon with me, so it's like two sets of income just
Double time.
so it was definitely different. And of
Right.
course, you got the mortgage company still expecting their pay and
They
you
want
know,
their money.
right. Now our
Yeah.
bills did kind of get small, like the electric bill and gas and water because we weren't at the salon, but
Right.
they were still coming. Especially
Right.
like the cable bill still came each
You
month.
still had you still had to pay your rent on the building,
Right,
right?
right.
Yeah.
Everything had to still pay.
Yeah.
So like I say, that uneasiness turned into real concern after that first month.
Yes. So did you have a plan of action to set up right away, or like you said, did it just kind of flow through as you went through the months, through the
Mm.
weeks?
Right. No, it wasn't because we've never experienced anything like this. So it wasn't
Absolutely.
anything that I had prepared for. Of course, you
Absolutely.
have savings and you have things that you think is gonna carry you through if something happens, but usually that's just like a couple months. But
Right.
we were out for almost 8 months.
We were out. And the funny thing about it, Randy, that you just mentioned, I've been licensed as a stylist for over 25 years. Got my license in 96. Never have I seen anything like this happen.
Right.
Never have we been told you cannot go in the salon, you cannot operate your business right now. And so
Right.
it really took a hit to us. So we're months out. I know I was months out sitting home. You have a small son, I have a small son.
Mhm.
So once you returned, was it different? How was it? Speak on how it changed once you returned back into the salon.
Coming back was it was weird again at first because it was like, okay, this is weird, and especially you kind of nervous now because you've seen the effects of COVID,
Absolutely.
and so now I'm on edge, and my wife especially, she's like, she's real like crazy about that. Want everything to be by the book protocol. She
Right.
doesn't want.
Clean. And then, and that's a mother. We've got small
Mhm.
children, and we go into, forget everything else. We go into protection mode over our
Right,
babies. And so we don't want to bring anything home. So I feel Chanel, I know where she's coming from.
right.
And it's so crazy because we had to wear masks.
hmm
I know when I was out, I don't know about you, when I was out, I was buying all my PPE supplies.
Yes.
I was getting my mask. I got the shield. I was
hmm
ordering wipes. And look, the funny thing is you couldn't find Lysol on the shelf. So we're having to figure out, well, what can we use? And then my brain goes straight to alcohol and bleach. You can't go wrong with alcohol and bleach.
Yeah,
And
that's beautiful.
I don't know about y'all, but in our salon, we already we try to remain clean at all times. Even
Yeah,
before COVID, we wipe the sinks out after every client. But now, what are we doing, Randy?
don't
What are
harm
we doing?
ourselves.
Every
Don't harm
client that
ourselves.
gets out of our chair, we're
Yeah,
wiping down a chair. They move over to the dryer chair. They get up. We wipe down that chair. And then don't let them come and sit in the waiting area and want to switch seats. I'm almost like, please sit in one seat. Do
still.
not get up. Right? Right?
Yeah,
So what'd you say?
yeah. I said, like, sit still. Just I didn't call you. Just stay right
Still.
there until I instruct you.
Yes,
Like,
until I ask you to come, just stay where you are. So we implemented, coming in when you sign in,
mhm.
what time you're there. We're taking temperatures still. We're still taking
Yeah,
temperatures
yeah,
and signing in. And what that does is we're trying to make sure that if someone does say, hey, I was exposed, now I can go on my log and say, well, you were here at 12 o'clock and so was Carol, so was Ann. Let's call all of these people and let them know, hey, someone was exposed. And so
right.
that's another change that we're doing. We are trying to protect ourselves. We're trying to keep our clients safe. We're trying to keep everybody safe because guess what? We still have a business to operate. We still have a business to run,
Absolutely.
you
And
know.
like that's kind of what happened to us. We had a client who I did her Saturday, and Sunday she gives me a call and said she's in the emergency room and she's tested positive for COVID.
Oh my.
So, of course, my wife heart sank. I'm just like, okay,
Yeah.
what next? And so just, reading like the guidelines of what you have to do, we went on to a mandatory um,
Quarantine.
quarantine for 14 days. And then, after the 10th day, I went and got tested just to,
Make
alleviate any
sure.
fears of clients. And of course, we were negative,
Right.
and which just led me to believe that the things that we set in place must be working.
Yeah.
Because even though um, it was a scary situation, no one else in the salon came down with it. So
Right.
I appreciate the things that we do have in place.
Absolutely, absolutely. And some naysayers would say, well, it doesn't matter if you take their temperature, you could have it. What I say is if you have a temperature, I don't care if you have the flu. I don't care if you just have a fever because you're just not well. I don't want you here. So
Get
you're
out.
going to have to reschedule. So any precautions we can take, it's worth it in the end to me.
Right.
Because like I said, once again, we have a business to run and we have the responsibility while they're in there to do our part. And
Hmm.
and that's making sure while they're in there, they're doing their part as well. Wear your
Yeah.
mask. And so that's good that you guys, didn't have any trouble from that, um, because that's scary.
Yeah.
You were exposed, so now your wife, all y'all have to quarantine. Who can,
Yep.
and you think about again, who can afford to sit home? But we have to do it. You know, you're a business owner, you have to be there. So here we are, 9 months into go to COVID, and we and our businesses, we're still being affected, as we just spoke on. We're still being affected. Um, and I wanted to just speak on some of the things that we are still being affected by, like you just said, like we just mentioned. COVID is still very real. Actually, the numbers are continuing to go up. And I keep kind of my anticipation. Is he going to shut us down again? Because that's very possible.
Yeah.
It's very possible, especially the holidays have just passed, or we're in the midst of the holidays as 2021 comes in. So we're still doing temperatures. We're still keeping our salon numbers down. How many stylists do you have in there working?
And I was going to mention that too. We have three stylists, me, my wife, and another sister, another young lady, Stephanie. And what we did when we came back to the salon, we
Mhm.
wanted to have no more than 9 people at the salon, in the salon at a time.
That's
So
right.
each of us are allowed two clients in there at one point in time.
That's right.
But also we kind of staggered our work days
That's
so
right.
that we don't be there. So if we do happen to have an extra person, it's
Right.
still no more than 9 people in the salon at a
Right.
time.
Because that happens. What we did when we came, well, when we were going back to work, all it's 2, 4. There's 5 of us that actually work in the salon that I'm at. And so we got together to, of course, clean the salon. And while we were doing that, we spoke about what our days were going to be. And basically we made up a schedule where two stylists were only really in there together. And so that would give us the opportunity to have one or maybe two clients a piece. If something happens and there's three, which is what happened yesterday, you know, holiday time, we got busy, schedules got a little discombobulated, and I ended up having one in my chair and two waiting. And there was enough space in our waiting area so that they were apart. And my coworker saw what was going on. And so she, her client in the chair, she allowed one of her clients to continue to sit in a car and wait. And so we were able to keep our numbers down. So that is still affecting our business, where say we were doing just a random number, say we were doing 10 to 15 people a day. Now we're doing 5 to 7 people a day. That's it. You know, and so with me, I don't know. Well, I do know your schedule because we both talked how our schedule is very similar. I only work Wednesday, Friday, and every other Saturday is what I do. And so those are limited days. That's 2.5 days, or let's say 4.5 days a month, right? Is that what it ends up being? Anyway, whatever it ends up being, it's not a lot of days. So not a lot of cushion as far as when we're going to work, when we're going to make our money, making the, you know, numbers meet up for the week, because we've got, like we mentioned before, we've got responsibilities. We both got a young child at home. We have mates, they work, but we are all contributing to the household. So we 9 months in, and we are still being affected by COVID-19. And like I said before, I've never seen anything like it. And guess what? It doesn't look like it's tapering out. It actually looks like the numbers are going higher. And so what I wanted to talk to you now about, and before we close out, 2020 is coming in. What's that looking like? What do we have any plans or moving forward? What are we maybe thinking? What do you plan to do as far as the business, or what are your thoughts on COVID and the business? How it's going to look for 2021, maybe?
Well, like I said, I'm optimistic.
Yeah.
We are seeing the numbers rise, but I'm still being optimistic with us because of what we're doing.
Because of the protocol that we've put in place.
Right. And like you say, I went from 10 to 15 clients a day to now 5. So usually I'm trying to work on one person every 2 hours.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to figure out a way to boost that up to maybe 7.
Well, I was going to talk to you about that. I didn't mention that, and that's what I was going to mention. What changes did you actually have to make to compensate or to counteract the effects of COVID? For instance, I did have a slight price increase, and I didn't want to say, hey, we're in COVID. I know half y'all don't have your job, but you got to pay me more money. But looking into it, what I had to realize is that, first of all, my price menu was still from 1995 anyway. So it was due for an increase. And it wasn't drastic, you know, $5 or $10 here or there. It does make a difference when we add up our numbers at the end of the week, at the end of the day, at the end of the week, at the end of the month. It makes a difference. So, and for me, say I work Wednesday, I was doing just like 10, starting at 10 o'clock and ending whenever, but I would take my last one, say about 5:36. I've now changed my hours to 9 to 9. So I could be in there, you know, really from 9 o'clock to maybe 10 o'clock till I'm finishing up my last client. And I did that for COVID, just to see if I can get maybe a little extra space in there. I don't know about you, but I went to a scheduling app. I didn't have that before. I was still from 1980. Had my appointment book.
Me too.
I went to a scheduling app, Randy, and let me tell you, it has made a world of difference for me.
Right.
It has made a world of difference. And it gives my clients the freedom to book when they want. They can wake up at 1 o'clock in the morning and say, I want to book an appointment, and they can do it. They don't have to wait to call me. And also with my price increase, they were able to go on there and say, okay, this is what I want. This is how much it's going to cost. The questions are, there's no questions. This is what it is. When you book it, you know. And so that's some of the changes I know I had to make for my personal business. What some of the changes did you have to make, or what do you plan to maybe do?
Yeah, similar. Like I was using this regular scheduling
Yeah.
book. They would call me and whatnot. I was looking into trying to figure out scheduling apps, but
Yeah.
I couldn't quite figure out which one I wanted.
Okay.
But I did go digitally. I started putting everything in my phone now
Good.
instead
Yeah.
of a book. And I also I only allow my clients to book. I open my books once a month now, which was totally different. Like my clients will book for the year.
Right. Right.
I found that when COVID hit, I found that stressful trying to call everybody, and I still miss some people. And,
Yes.
and
That
people
is an
like, you're
excellent
not
point.
working at a shop? I'm like, it's a mandatory shutdown. No
Shutdown.
work.
Like, no. But that's something very interesting that you just said. How far out we open our books could add to or decrease the stress level. Say what about even getting sick or
Mhm.
vacation? If you
Yeah,
have it booked out too far, it kind of it locks you in. And
right.
so mine is now 2 months out. You say you have yours a month out, and I may do that. 2 months is okay so far, but
Right.
yeah, that's important.
Yeah. So I'm appreciating it. I know with the like I said, I want to increase my schedule a little bit.
Yeah,
Try to come in earlier.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know, right
exactly.
now I'm in at 10 o'clock in the morning.
That was me. Yeah.
So if I'm not a morning person, but if
Me
I try,
either. Me either. I'm with you,
maybe
brother.
at
I'm with
night
you.
I can get up and take a couple more. So I'm think about it. I'm gonna pray
Yeah.
about it really hard
Yeah,
to see if
right.
that's
Right. That's what I had to
but
do because I'm still adjusting to getting there at 9, which means that
mhm,
I have to get up a little earlier because I have to drop my son off at the babysitter, which I had to square that away with her. Can he come an hour earlier? Drop him off,
right.
get him there, and then get to work. So even 9 o'clock on a weekday is a lot for me, but it has helped. It has helped. But again, those are some of the changes that we had to make. We had
Yeah,
um, some of the stores or other businesses, it is what it is. It's outlined. People don't question it. You go on Walmart. Walmart says we're going to close at 8 o'clock. You respect that. A
right.
stylist says these are my new hours, and people are, oh, what am I going to do? And what do you mean you're not working? And so it's so a lot of people don't know, and so I just wanted to bring awareness to
Mhm,
our side of the issue. They'll say, oh, well, you increased your prices. That's too much money. But when you think about it, look at where we are. We're in 2020 and
right.
everything else constantly goes up. Bread goes up, milk goes up, everything goes up. Products are going up.
Hmm.
Uh, and I don't know about on your side of the world in Portsmouth, but I know here, even to get access to my products has been a little harder.
Yeah, yeah. You go
I have
into
not-
the
Yeah,
flash, the shelves are
shelves are
empty.
empty. Shelves
Yeah.
are empty. So now even just online ordering, shipping, there's extra costs that are incurred. And so we've got to compensate for
Right.
that somehow. But a lot of people don't see our side of it. And so what I wanted to do is just bring awareness to that because it's real. It's
Yeah.
real.
I
We
appreciate
stylists, we're out here. This is our livelihood. We're making money. We make people beautiful. We make them happy. But then sometimes they're kind of like, whoa, don't change anything on me. Well, we
right.
have to. We have to go with the times. And right now we're in the time of 2021 going into COVID. COVID going into 2021, however you want to say it, because it's
Hmm.
still here. So thank you so much for sharing and
No
uh,
problem. I
speaking with me
appreciate
today.
this. Yeah, appreciate this platform. It's nice to get to express some of the
Yeah,
things that, like you say, our side.
our side.
A
And
lot
it's
of people
real.
don't see
Yeah,
it.
it's real. We're real business owners. We're real. I don't want to use the word hustling, but some of us like you and I that have been in the business for so long, I'm kind of getting away from the hustle. I'm kind of wanting to, smooth out. And so now I'm kind of looking into more retail,
Right.
uh,
That's what I wanted to do too. Increase that
increasing
product there.
retail, whatever I can that will help work while I'm not working
Hmm.
because that's where we're going. Everything's
Right.
going online, everything's going digital. So our platform now is Instagram, YouTube, all of those are our new platforms for advertising. And so I said, let me use this platform and get our
Yeah.
message out there as well. So I appreciate you talking with me.
Thank you
Real
for
good.
having.
Yeah, you're welcome.